Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is January 16th of 2023. On the 17th, I have a doctor's appointment, my regular doctor. Um, this morning, well, yesterday's morning, this is uh, 2 a.m., so uh, I got up and it wasn't too cold out, but anyway, I dressed appropriately and walked the one block from here to the bank to make a small deposit in the ATM machine there. And then I walked, now in a previous video not very long ago, I walked to the bank and I walked back. That was a struggle. Okay, yesterday morning, walked to the bank. From the bank, I walked about a block down to Braums, maybe a little bit more. And I had biscuits and gravy inside. And then I walked about a block from there to a donut shop. And I got about 12 donuts there. And then I walked back. And coming back was up a slight incline on the hill, but I did okay. And then, of course, the trip, which is more of an upgrade to the bank, or from the bank, it's up a hill a little bit into the apartment complex. You turn in. And it was kind of rough going, but I made it. I didn't fall down, and I made it. But there's no video. And I didn't realize it till I got home. I mean, I even made a video, well, I thought I made a video inside, a short one inside of Braums, and a short one inside of the donut shop. Then I remembered with my Pixel 4a, when I'm outside in the bright light, it is hard for me to see the screen. And I've had the same problem of activating. Now I know you can assign, I think, a key or something rather to, start the camera or something. That's not me. So now I'm wondering about switching back to my Moto G stylus. But I like the stylus, but well, of course, this is not a large cell phone either. And the Moto G that I have is a 20, I think, or 21 version. Whichever one it is not 6.2 inches or whatever that is. And I think I would rather have that. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold off maybe on that. I think maybe I'm going to, in about a week or so, get a deal on a Moto G stylus, the one that has the larger size, and the one that where the stylus goes into the bottom. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter whether it's right or left. It goes in. Where with the one I have, you have to make sure you put it in a certain way. So I think that's what I'm going to do right now at this point. I think I'm going to wait and then of course that means I'm going to have a, Pixel 4a that I won't be using, and I'll have a Motorola G stylus that I won't be using because, I'll have a little better version. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm pretty sure that I had no problem with seeing the screen outdoors with the Moto G stylus that I have, and that I have had. See, a lot of the videos I make, I've been at, outdoors or whatever at night, and so that's why I haven't noticed so much. I think the problem of being out in daylight with the Pixel 4a. So what else is new? There was something new. I know there was, and I thought I was going to make notes or something, and I didn't. Oh no, I have a doctor's appointment coming up. My daughter Hillary is going to have to end up driving. I was trying to keep the fact from her that I had a couple of doctor's appointments, but my ex-wife, Hillary's mother, told her over the phone. And so Hillary insists that she's going to take me. I'm going to try to talk her out of it because the appointment she took me on yesterday or whatever that was, she had to drive in from where she is, in rush hour traffic to take me down there, and to the doctor's office. And I could get an Uber from here so much easier. So I'm going to see if Hillary will let me just get myself there by an Uber and back. Because when she's away from home, she's losing money because she works on the phone. I think I can say, I don't think she's going to get, she didn't make $1 million for herself, but on this company that she works for, she made $1 million for them in 1 year's time. And I think that's when she was working. It was when she was working from Sweden. And right now she's got several cats. 2 of them are. One was, I think, basically dead, and the animal hospital revived it, and she's paying a lot of money. They're both of those cats that she has that are have the old age and that type of stuff, and organ failure and all that kind of. Hillary, instead of letting them go, she has to give them medications that are expensive, and let them go. God bless them. Let them go. So I know there was something else. Oh, I think I might have mentioned this, maybe in the last video. I have got a whole bunch of photos, a whole bunch. My mother, saved a ton of pictures, and there's a whole bunch of them. And if you happen to, I'm not sure if you happen to, if you got an idea, like there's a bunch of pictures of me in California during World War II. I was born in March of 1941. World War II started for the United States in December of 1941. Both my parents worked as Boilermakers building Liberty ships. And my father's 7 brothers, or was it 6? I think it was 7. All of them were in the military during World War II. One was in the Marine Corps events, and he was really traumatized by what happened on those islands. And then one of my uncles was in the Navy, because I've seen pictures of him in his Navy uniform. The oldest brother, older than my father, and then my father was the next, but my father's oldest brother, Joe, he was in the Red Ball Express, the trucks that hauled behind Patton and I guess other, hauled supplies. Had to get those supplies, the fuel and stuff and everything needed. I'm not sure exactly if he was a truck driver. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of positions, and so I don't know. So anyway, I have a ton of pictures. I noticed some of them are starting to fade, and I mean some of them have lost. Some of them are gone. But what I'm thinking about doing is like there's playlist, and I'm thinking of like I would have a playlist of. I'm not sure exactly how I would do it, but maybe I would do 1940. The playlist would be like something cute, maybe, the way it was, or looking back at 19, and then so all the pictures for 1940 would be in there. So there'd be some years where there'd be fewer pictures. I could make the area, the thing longer, the 50s or, something. Thinking of doing something like that. If you happen to have seen, if you maybe have something set up like that, you might direct me to it, or if you know of somebody else that has something where they've set it up that way, that maybe done it a good way or something, you might point me in that direction. Just going to talk a couple more minutes. I always pronounce, this is, I set that out there to show you all. This is one of the things that was in the box with a whole bunch of pictures. It's a KW dark truck model. My grandson, Hillary's son, he lived here in this apartment with me until Hillary came back from Sweden. And so this was, in a box, set here, whatever. And I think I brought it out then or something and just put it someplace. And he said, "Why do you have a toy truck?" And I said, "Well, I used to build these trucks for years. I built these trucks, KW Dark Truck Company. I worked in the body shop, and we built the body for it." And he said, "No, you didn't." Now he wasn't a little kid, I said, "Yes, yes, I did. I built." "No, you didn't." And I said, "I built railroad trains also, mainly coal haulers or whatever. I built those. And I worked for I worked 1 year at one place that did that, and then I worked again for them at a different location on the river called the shipyard. And although it's because during World War II they built in Missouri. They built landing craft there. Of course, all across the United States, and I guess probably in other places, landing craft were being built for, the landing in Europe. So he didn't believe that either. So I don't know. Garvey Corporation was a good, union job. Good pay, good benefits. And then I got married. At that time is when I got married. And when I met Darlene, now Darlene's parents owned a tavern. My parents were both drinkers, big time drinkers. But both my parents never missed a day's work in their entire life. But they came home and drank. But anyway, her parents owned a tavern, and my parents, went to that tavern. Of course, when my dad was a Boilermaker since 1941, and all the way through his life until he died. But in the latter years of his life, he was elected to a union, Boilermakers Union, Local 83. And but I've got my father's union card and my mother's union card, Boilermakers Union. Of course, it was in California because of that. But I also, of course, was a Boilermaker in later life for a few years. And I have my Boilermakers card, so that's one thing I want to, take a picture of them together. I've thought about in the past framing them, but what's the point in doing that now? I mean, yeah. If it, well, what would have been the point doing it a long time ago? You know. And everybody nowadays has so many pictures. People snap pictures of their lunch. I mean, people snap pictures of everything. And I guess I'm talking about myself also. And do we really, do we really look at them? If we do, are other people going to look at them? Anyway, I got a lot of pictures. Some of them, when I was little, I was cute. I've mentioned that before, I don't know about God, here I was a cute little kid, a cute little boy. Then when I got to the age of, girls or whatever, then I stopped being cute. Anyway, I'm going to upload this. Everything seems like it's working okay. Um, I I think I've got my printer finally hooked up. I mentioned this the other day. It's been sitting on the floor around here, moved around. I had to get it set up for some reason. Oh, I needed to print out something. When I see my doctor tomorrow, I'm going to try to get the doctor to sign that will allow me to use a service that Fort Worth has for people who need, transportation, and the doctor has to approve it. I tried to get a different doctor, but it's the same doctor's office. Actually, it's where I go to for, general stuff. There's a doctor, and when I went there, 2010 or something or other, was that it? Whatever it was. And, I started going there. At some point, I was having difficulty making it up. This apartment complex is right on a hill. I mean, you go out the door and you have to climb up. You have to go up the hill, or you have to go down the hill. And I was having trouble going up the hill. Not as bad as it is now, but I filled out the paperwork and took it to him for when I went for my regular meeting, and he said nope. And I said okay. And so now I'm going to I've been using it for a long time. Nurse practitioner, or whatever, or is it doctor practitioner? I forget what. I just say doctor, but she's not a doctor. She's she works underneath him, but she does a fantastic job. And before her, there at the same place, there was another, in order to become the doctor practitioner or whatever, you have to work underneath the, doctor. But they can write prescriptions, she can write prescriptions, all that kind of stuff. But both of these have been great too, that I've had there at his office. I'm glad I have them rather than him. Don't care for him that much. One of them went through the nursing thing, so she went to nursing school, to become an RN, and with a degree, a bachelor's degree in RN, and then she had to take extra training in order to be then certified and everything, so that she could work as a doctor, underneath a doctor, And the other person went became a nurse. Let's see, yeah. One went fully as an RN, degree and the whole thing, and then took classes through the nursing thing, for the doctor part. And then the other one went through college and went a different direction. So not through the nursing thing, but different. Went through the, I guess took like classes for, like maybe didn't go to medical school. I mean exactly, but they must be some type of a thing. So they went two different directions, you know, and both of them have been excellent. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.